10 o'clock. Feeding for the guap, I be beaming, losing balance. Yo, bitch falling on my yacht. They're like, smell like genius, that's my.
A lot of people don't know who the Miami medium is, and the man behind the Miami medium is Derek Newman. Can you tell us, who is Derek Newman?
Derek Newman is a person who loves the idea of love. I'm a hopeless romantic. I'm very family oriented. I love to travel. I love to explore different cultures. I'm very sophisticated, very classy, but I can be hood. You know, I can go, to the hood on Saturday and go to the barbecue, and I can go to Four Seasons Sunday night and have steak and wine with my friend Stacy. We call each other the Sour Patches, and she's the Sour Patch. I'm the Sweet Patch, okay? No. I'm the Sour Patch and she's the Sweet Patch, right, Stacey?
Right.
But Derek Newman is a person I love to be by myself at times too. I love my isolation because I help so many people, so I feel like my peace is sometimes robbed. So when I'm home, I like to just be in my bed, looking ugly, being peaceful, not being disturbed. I have my phone on Do Not Disturb all the time because Stacey would tell you, I would say, hey, is my notifications on that saying that my phone is like on silent? And she'd be like, okay, I see it. So, I love to be by myself, but the Miami medium portion of things, I love to help people. I love to just get people ahead. I hate to see people depressed, angry, anxious, nervous, or going through any kind of life obstacle, because I tell people what you put up here becomes your reality. Some people get into low vibrations and they stay there. They don't want the help. So the Miami medium tries to get people head above the water. But sometimes Derek Newman kick in and be like, okay girl, okay dude, like come on. Stop making excuses. Like, we all go through the same thing. We all go through life problems. We all have marriage issues. We all have relationship issues. But like I said, some people create a lot of their problems. So Derek Newman kind of like keep the Miami medium in check, because the Miami medium is more soft and more giving and more loving. And Derek Newman is like, yo, snap out of it. Set boundaries. Boundaries was something that I never had before. And now I'm setting my boundaries, because Stacey would tell you, I would be like, why is this person texting me these paragraphs at 7 in the morning? I'm like, I could text my spouse that, but I don't expect clients or whoever to be texting me 7 o'clock in the morning with paragraphs, So Derek Newman kick in and be like, hey, block, okay? But the Miami medium was like, oh, hey, just give this person one more chance. They didn't mean it, they're going through something. Because when people are going through problems, they don't think about you. They don't think about themselves. Like, I could have had a test that day for school. I could have been going through other problems, But Derek Newman is here to say, like, look, boundaries, Miami medium.
How does Derek Newman manage all these enterprises? You have a lot going on, and yet you make it seem so easy and seamlessly transitioning between and helping so many people at the same time.
I have to appeal to the senses of being compassionate, to others, and sometimes people take advantage of that. But I have people like Stacy and you and Chris who I can vent to, and Stacy sometimes say, "That's what I'm here for." Like cry, like let it out and vent, and I'd be like, "What? He did this, and she did this, and he did this." But one thing I love about my circle right now is that everybody hold each other accountable. And she would tell you, she'd be like, "Derek, why did you do that?" And I'd be like, "Well, you know me, She'd be like, So it's like, I'm happy now that I have the circle who hold me accountable. Like I hold her accountable, you, everyone. I just got on Chris. I was like, Chris, what's going on with my videos, But the thing with this is, I try to manage my day by knowing that God is with me. Because if God is with you, then guess what? He will get you through it, no matter what obstacle that you're facing. And I try to tell people, some people forget about having faith. And faith will get you far in life. I tell people this all the time. If you don't have faith, you're not going anywhere. And I tell people, there are some times where I had so many bills, like $20,000 in 1 month. And I'm like, Stacy, remember? I'm like, Stacy, I got all these bills. And she was like, you're going to get through, you're going to get through it, okay? You're gonna get through it. And Stacey, what you told me all the time?
Keep the faith.
Keep the faith. And then, because sometimes I kind of lose the faith a little bit, you know? But then she reminds me, and you remind me, and like, I'm just so happy I have this circle now, because for a long time, I just, you know, we live in a world now where everybody's in competition with each other. And I used to be a people's person, always around folks, now to myself. Like, I protect my circle. I come out, I work with my clients, I go back into my shell. We are the same way right now, because people don't know how to be happy for each other, okay? So having that close circle of friends now is what's keeping me afloat. Ooh. I was going through depression a lot, like off and on, like anxiety like crazy, because imagine having a spiritual gift and so many people dying around you all at once. But then you got your friends calling you, your clients calling you, your family calling you, your co-workers calling you. And I'm like, okay, I'm trying to be there for everybody, but how can I be there for you when I can't be there for myself right now? And it got to a point where I just went in this shell, you know? But the thing with this is, I tell people, when you have a spiritual gift, you feel energy on a different level. Stacey was my client before, and one time I snapped on her, and when she got into her gift, she was like, Derek, now I see what you talk about, because this is draining. And a lot of people say, oh, I'm going through this, I'm going through that, and they try to make their problems more than yours. But I'm like, I'm so humble, I'm gonna give you that. I'm gonna let you feel like your problems are more than me, you know? And what I'm going through. And I don't complain. Do I complain? I don't complain. But then the people I had around me made it seem like I was an inconvenience. You understand? How can I be an inconvenience to you when my problems are more than yours? I really do, and at the time, my personal life was being affected because God was repositioning me. And when he was repositioning me, he was taking friends away, family away, and a lot of people I had to love from a distance. And the thing with this is, me being a family person, that was hard on me, because I'm like, wait, we have all these years together, now we have to split up. And the thing with this is, some people can't go where you're going. And just because we're no longer friends or we no longer talk as family, it's no beef. It's no beef. It's just like when God is trying to elevate you, he will remove those anchors. And letting him remove those anchors are a form of obedience. And I tell people, you have to be obedient. What this trip means to me is more like a reset. Erasing my spiritual DNA, erasing people from my past, erasing the trauma, the hurt, anger, resentment, all of that stuff. Because I feel like God is about to really elevate me to the big level, and I got to reset my spiritual. Because the thing with this is, me having this gift, I take on my emotions more harder. And Stacey will tell you, like, yes, I'm emotional, who isn't? Sometimes I can be impulsive, but I'm human with feelings. And sometimes I put my feelings aside to make somebody else's feelings a priority when they don't even consider me. And I'm always showing up for people, they're not showing up for me. I'm always doing stuff for people, and I tell her all the time, I'm going out my way to show you care, love, all of that. It's definitely a shift, because the thing with this is, our spiritual DNA always go through a reawakening process. And when God wants us to grow, he will definitely make us uncomfortable, okay? So the last shift that we went through, a lot of people was uncomfortable. They lost their job, their mortgage was late, they had low money, and God was trying to teach people a lesson like, lean on me. Because a lot of people have strayed away from the word of God. They have lost it. With the social media era now, everybody's in competition. But when I speak to people that have 50,000 followers, online you look perfect, but you're calling me, you have nowhere to go, nowhere to stay, you're homeless, you're in a homeless shelter. But online, you have your Chanel bag, you're on a boat, you're doing this, you're doing that. And it's trying to live up to that image is where all of this mental health problems are coming from, because now people are being compared to each other. Oh, Stacey ahead of me, Ty's ahead of me, Chris ahead of me, Chris doing all his video stuff, I'm still stuck. Why are you still stuck? Some people have to look within themselves And they're not doing that. They just look for the next person to blame. You know, take accountability. Otherwise, God will make your life a living hell. And people feel like, let me say this, because this is very important. People feel like they can commit sin and then pray to God for forgiveness. Yes, God will forgive you, but he's going to put you through judgment. And when he puts you through judgment, sometimes those karmic cycles are 10 years. And I tell people this, God sends people in your life as blessings. How you handle that blessing will be your destiny. Because if you handle that blessing well, God will bless you more. If you take advantage, use that person, put that person last when that person put you first, welcoming people back into your life that cause nothing but trauma, stress, toxic energy around you, and you disregard God's anointed, you're not going to get blessed. Your life is going to be a shit show for the next 10 years. And I tell people this all the time, you have to be mindful of who you're hurting. People just hurt people these days and like, okay, I'm good. Not bothering me, but guess what? 2 months later, God say, hey, your judgment here. Now you're about to go through it. I'm going to take everything from you. I'm going to bring you back down to your knees. The narcissism and gaslighting is very real these days. People don't know how to take ownership for anything. They make your reality seem like it's false, especially when you call people out on their BS. You know, they make themselves feel like, oh, I'm being attacked. You're crazy, you're this, you're that. But this is why I tell you guys, if you are a generational curse breaker and you were appointed to be that curse breaker, you can't be with weak people. They're gonna hold you back. Weak people make excuses, never want to see the light at the end of the tunnel. They're just so accustomed to darkness that when they encounter a God person, they don't know what to do with it. And that's sad. And I was just telling Stacy that. Stacy know about my love life, but now my boundaries have been set. And this is 2011, Derek again. And the thing with this is, if your standards are not even at my level, you won't get the time of the day. Appointed and anointed. And I tell people this all the time. And that's the life of Derek Newman.